Hey, my name is Mo. I'm a working mom who's on a journey to reach financial freedom. Here we're going to be talking about all things budgeting, debts, and savings. We're loosely Ramsey inspired, all while keeping in mind that this is real life. So without further ado, welcome to The Real Budget. Welcome back if you're following along in my journey. Today we're going to be going over another paycheck tracker. This is the third week of February, and like I've mentioned before, we started this journey in the middle of February. So this is taking a look back on our third week of February, how much we actually spent. Like, I've printed out bank records, guys. This is exact because we're going to figure out where all our money is going and how we can better budget to have a zero-based budget in March. Okay, first things first, let's label this. This is the third paycheck of February. Now this was paid on 2/16, and the amount we brought in was $2,569. And then one of my husband's side hustles, some of the money came in from that, and it was $600. We always include this side hustle, even though payments come in on different times, we try to include it on a certain Friday that we get paid. So let's add up that income real quick. We'll start that way. This week, our income was $3,169. Fixed expenses. This week we paid for childcare again at $150. We paid our phone bill, which was $180. Now, if you look at my original debt confession, back my first video I posted, you'll see where we have 3 different iPhones. I've listed those as debts because we pay on them monthly, included in this $180 phone bill, but this is a way to get one of your fixed expenses down, is to pay off the phone and just be paying for the service. Next, like we do every week, we paid our lawyer $300. Then we paid our Amazon loan, which was $340 for this month. We're so close to getting that paid off. That will be an incredible feeling. Then we made a minimum payment on the Capital One S card. Am I spelling capital wrong? Is it AL? I don't know. I'll go back and look later. But the minimum payment for that was $25. Then we paid for our Amex. The minimum payment on that was $447.56. So that's all our fixed expenses. Let's go ahead and add that up. That adds up to $1,442.56. Next was our variable expenses. First is groceries, was $160.36. And if you remember, last week, I think it was the week that I did that bulk shopping at Costco. So that really helped us lower for this week too. Then we had gas. It was $106.62. Now this is much higher than our normal weekly gas. We took our kids to see 2 sets of grandparents, of which both of them live an hour away. So I drove an hour there, an hour back, and then an hour there and an hour back on top of, my regular driving. So in the future, I don't know if I'm gonna include extra gas and trips in family fun, or you'll see another category later I might put it under, but for now, it is what it is. It was gas, and so that's what I added it up under. Then we had one subscription come out. I normally put this under fixed expenses, but it might be something we're cutting, so I just put it under variable this week. $23.50. Then we had to buy some household items this week. That included things like laundry detergent, grout cleaner, all of those things that it takes to maintain the level of home that I like to maintain. So unfortunately we spent $53.68 this week on that. That's not something I buy every week. Then we had eating out. This added up to $157.08. Also, if you're following along, you'll see that the first week of February, it was close to that, but higher. And then the second week, we drastically cut that down. Now, I felt like we sort of slipped back into our old habits this week, but like I was saying with going to see our grandparents, or our kids' grandparents, I should say, we used some of this eating out money to bring them food on a visit. So I don't know if that should be called, family fun, kindness, giving, something like that. But for right now, I'm including it in our eating out. And then spending. Right now, I'm including this as a category of like random things that we're buying. This added up to $112.33 this week. This included things like I went to a car wash one time. I went to TJ Maxx to get a new phone case because mine broke. I bought the tripod that I'm filming on right now there. We bought some more stuff for our toddler as she's transitioning out of, infancy and she needs toddler items. And then something from Amazon, not quite sure. The last category I have in here is gas station trips. This added up to $49.59. And if you haven't seen any of my other videos, this includes things like fun drinks that we get out. My husband's in a car most of the day, so, he stops at gas stations. That's not really something I'm gonna fight him on, but I am glad that it's much lower than it was the first week. I think we're getting to a more reasonable number here. So let's add all this up. That was $663.16 for variable expenses. Now, this is the first time this month that these two numbers have not added up to be more than what this individual paycheck was worth. So we were able to do a couple fun things with it. I'm gonna write that out here for us. Now, I didn't start any of my sinking funds like I said. I'm gonna try to start that in March. So just for this particular one, I'm gonna mark this out and I'm gonna write debt because we decided to start being aggressive with some of our debt with this leftover money. On this, we were able to put $133.11 to iPhone number 1. And if you guys see, from my original debt confession, that was our lowest debt, and that was what we owed. So it should be paid off. Now we're gonna double check on our next phone bill because sometimes they'll sneak in like one more interest payment. But guys, I am so excited. I know it's like $133.11, so it's not that much, but man, it just feels good to know that at the end of this month, I can wipe one thing off our debt list. Also, we were paying about $30 a month on our phone bill, so that might bring this phone bill down to like $150. We can just roll that money probably into my largest student loan debt payment that's gonna start in March. Next, under debt, we looked at this Capital One S card, and we don't like the interest rate, and it was pretty close to being like maxed out. So while this isn't the traditional way to do a snowball, we were supposed to go to the next lowest balance. We decided to attack this one. So for our Capital One S card, oh no, y'all, just give me some grace, okay? So for our Capital One S card, we put an additional $225 towards it. So I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna say total. Total extra to debt this month, we put $358.11. That is such a good feeling, guys. This is even before we started really getting to a zero-based budget. So that's encouraging. You know, an emergency fund was one of the things that we really wanted to do this month if we were able to. Dave Ramsey, his first baby step is to have about $1,000 in there. I wanted to be able to contribute about $600 this month, and I can happily say that we just put $600 in this emergency fund. Yay! All right, guys. One more category I want to talk about is I want us to leave a buffer in our joint checking account that we use every month. Since we're new to budgeting, things are coming out that we didn't really know were going to come out. So I want to work on having a buffer in there. I'm not sure exactly how much yet, but for this paycheck, we left the remaining, let's see, $105.17 in there. I'm going to include that in savings right now. So that is 600 plus 105.17. That was 705.11. All of this adds up to $3,169. So I guess we did a zero-based budget, if you'll call it that, this week. Now the next week, we're gonna try to do the same thing. And then in March, I would like us to be able to go over this the day we get paid before we do our spending. So if you're interested in following along on my journey as I'm already making progress on our debt, please subscribe, like this video, maybe even click that alert button so you'll know when I upload. I'm gonna try to upload several times a week. But thank you so much for being a part of this journey, watching this video. Thank you for the subscribers that I already have. I appreciate y'all so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. Bye.